Hello, and welcome to Zebra Technologies and Crave Infotech's co-hosted Rugged Field Service Applications and Purpose-Built Solutions webinar. On today's webcast, you will hear from Paul Hilton, Director of Industry Solutions at Zebra, and Shrikant Nistani, Digital Transformation Specialist at Crave Infotech, discuss the challenges faced by field service workers with mobile technology and solutions designed specifically with the field worker in mind. We will talk about our partnership focused on SAP solutions, Crave Field Service Management and Solutions, and much more. If throughout this presentation you have any questions, please type them into the Q&A tab, and we will try to answer them during that segment at the end of the webinar. This webinar will be recorded and shared along with the presentation at the conclusion of this event. If you have any additional questions, we encourage you to reach out by responding to the email that you will receive. Now I will turn it over to Paul Hilton. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good morning to those on the West Coast. Shrikant, I think you're sharing your slides, so let me share mine. Okay. Karen, if I could just get a quick check here that you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Great. Thank you, everybody, for joining today. We are very excited that you're able to take this time to join Shrikant and myself. My name is Paul Hilton. I'm with Zebra Technologies, an industry specialist here at Zebra, focused on the rugged field service space, whether it's utilities, oil and gas, construction, pretty much collecting data in the most rugged and harsh environments out there here. So pleasure to be joined by Shrikant and Crave Infotech today. We are going to walk through what we build together as a comprehensive solution for your field operations here. But let's start with a little bit of history of who Zebra is. For those that have heard of Zebra Technologies, I'm going to guess that you probably have an older printer. I'm going to guess that you have an older printer deep in your warehouse or your operations somewhere that's just keeps running, won't quit, and it has a Zebra label on it. But there's a little bit more to us here. We started about 50 years ago with what at the time was a revolutionary invention, the barcode, something that we definitely take for granted these days as it's on everything, and really have just built that out into a company that enables visibility into operations, whether it's people, assets, workers. You know, if there's something that you're looking to track, then we are building solutions there to track it. Some of the solutions that you might not have seen, that you might be familiar with and not seen that Zebra acquired, if you have handhelds in your operation somewhere from Motorola or Symbol, or for those of you that have been around for quite a while, even Telzon, those are now all under the Zebra umbrella as we continue to build out these solutions. And as you can see to the right of the slide, we continue to invest in this space, both organically with R&D and also externally with some acquisitions, such as the R12 tablets that we're gonna focus on today here. So while we might be known for scanning, mobile computing, definitely barcode printing and reading, we have been really transitioning these last few years into a solution company. There's a lot over the last decade or so. We've seen a jump in technology and with new features, new capabilities here that help provide better visibility into our operations, such as RFID, predictive analytics, and we've really put quite a bit of resources into growing into those spaces, as I mentioned before. We can't do this alone. We have a few strategic partnerships here that we really lean on heavily here to help build out these solutions. The first we'll talk about is Google. Starting very early with Google, we saw their potential in our space to build out. We started working with them very early on, learning as much as we could about the Android platform and trying to figure out how to get that consumer grade operating system to be a best fit for the enterprise space that we know and we live in here. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Next up, Microsoft, right? We don't want to turn away from our legacy systems, right? That we really came up on. So we continue to work very closely with Microsoft, both on supporting as much as we can from their legacy systems, as well as building on their newer platforms to give you guys the best in breed solutions for your operations. And of course, you can't run operating systems without chipsets. We do go to Qualcomm and Intel for the best in breed chips, not the chips that you might find in your laptop or your consumer grade mobile phone, but the chips that are going to be supported, long-term support, and last the duration of your solution that you need it to. You know, if you guys if your operations has a 5-year tech refresh cycle, you know, we don't want to be putting something in there with the chips that's only going to be supported for a year or two. We want to make sure that we're giving you guys all the tools, all the flexibility to fit your operations and your operations needs. Now on Android, we did mention briefly there that, you know, let's call it what it is. It's a consumer grade platform, okay? And while, if you remember, some of the early knocks with it were that it was too open, it's not secure enough. We agreed, but we saw it as an opportunity, and we said, all right, just as if you get a Samsung phone, you get a Google Calendar and a Samsung Calendar, you know, Samsung's adding their own layer on top of the stock Android, we can do the same. So while we might not give you a duplicate application that you really don't need, focus on building a layer of features or applets, whatever you would like to call them, that help transition this consumer OS to an enterprise-ready OS, enabling you with tools to help develop solutions on Android better, to roll them out, implement them, and develop them, or I'm sorry, manage them as well for the length of that operating system. And another nice feature that we've done, you know, Android, once again, consumer support here, you know, after about a year or so, they're not going to force you like other operating systems, but they're going to kind of nudge you to get onto that next operating system, where you might have just spent all kinds of time and resources getting your solution up on the latest, on the last version of their OS, their last dessert, and you want to keep it there for a little bit. You want to take a little bit of a break. Here at Zebra, we have implemented a package called Lifeguard for Android. This extends the support of Android versions even past what Google is going to provide here for up to 5 years here with our comprehensive Zebra support package. So once again, not that you want to run that version for that entire 5 years, but we want to give you the flexibility to if you wanted to. Also, something to mention here as we're talking about service and support, we also guarantee support of our devices. Now, we have many different tiers of devices. Some we call 3-year devices, where we're going to, once we release it, we're going to sell for 3 years and then support for an additional 3 years after support, or after we end of sale it. Now, those are at least, so we're going to support it for at least 3 years. We do the same for our 4-year devices and our 5-year devices. So if you're out there and you're very particular about your refresh cycle, it needs to be above 5 years, 8 years, so to speak. We have some devices and some offerings that can help you get there. Well, let's take a look at the operations here. So let's start with the warehouse, because that's where Zebra's from, right? We started in the warehouse with the barcode years and years ago and built out from there. And when we go to build out a a device or a solution, it really starts with, what does that space need? What is that worker going to need to be able to do? What are the challenges they're going to see? So here are some of the considerations that we take into our design and development process. But some of the others that aren't called out here, making sure that that device, that solution is going to have a battery that it goes for a shift plus. If you have long shifts, we want to make sure that a battery running out is not going to impede that in any kind of way. Durability. If you're putting tablets on a fork truck, we want to make sure that those tablets are have the threshold to meet the vibrations that they're going to see in that operations. And here's just a quick subset of our warehouse and inventory tracking portfolio, all the way from the left at that printer that you might be familiar with, that might be sitting in the back of your corner of your warehouse covered in dust. Some of our newer portfolios there in the middle that might resemble the Motorola and symbols that you wear, all the way to the wearables on the right with some of the newer technology there, especially with our heads-up display, that are really going to drive our next generation solutions there. So now that the warehouse is all buttoned up, you've got your receivers putting away, your pickers picking, your shippers loading up and shipping out. Now let's take a look at the field. We take a similar process and approach to the field solutions that we put together here. Here are some of the boxes that we make sure we check, but the big ones that we find out in the field are, being able to withstand the inclement weather. Is it sealed? We want to make sure that moisture is not going to get into it, whether it's rain or whether it's condensation. If they're going in a chilled area and then constantly back and forth between a hotter area and the hot Arizona sun, we want to make sure that the condensation is not going to disrupt that worker's day at all. The display is a huge factor there. Okay, you want to make sure that something's readable under the shade of a tree or in the brightest sun. We want to make sure that that display is going to be legible as well as configurable. Workers wear gloves. Rain if you ever get a rain droplet on your mobile phone, it can cause the phone to act up a little bit. We want to make sure that doesn't happen here, that we give devices out there that are going to keep your workers working and stay away from that costly downtime. And once again, here's just a quick subset of our field devices here, all WAN enabled, mobile print even. One thing to call out here, we try to keep as many common denominators with these devices as possible here to better, we find the more common denominators we can, the more we can align each of these onto a platform, whether it's the chipset, version of the OS, whatever it may be, the easier it is going to be for you and your operations to manage and support those devices. When we look at the space here that we wake up and think about here, live in, the rugged field service space, there's the starting point that we usually find being the best fit is our L10 series. Now, this is a tablet platform here that is a 10-inch display and is, once again, it checks those boxes that we talked about, okay? It can take the different inclement weather, the different temperatures. It can, it's got an easy to read 10-inch screen. It's got durability. It drops. A big call out here is this is a device that is class 1 to 2 rated here. So if you have an intrinsically safe area that you need a device for, this is a great starting point here. And I mentioned that it's a tablet platform, okay? This is, we offer this in a couple different form factors, but once again, it's the same tablet here, running big Windows or Android, okay? On the left here, you have the X Slate, okay? It's going to most resemble the tablet that you and I are familiar with. In the middle, we have the X Pad, okay? It's adding a handle there that's going to make it enable easier carrying out in the field. Also has a built-in scanner into the handle there. And on the right, for those that could use a mobile workstation, a 2-in-1 here, where the cover is actually a tablet or a keyboard for the tablet, and it comes with a stand in the back there. And as we do with most of our devices here at Zebra, we really aim to have the core device there be as multifunctional, as versatile as possible, but we give it an extensive accessory ecosystem, enabling you to build it out to best fit this solution to your operations needs as possible. And with that, I should mention that we also strive to keep, as we refresh devices, whether it be a new chipset, a new display, we try to keep the form factor and the accessories as same as possible here, enabling the accessories to last multiple generations of a solution, if that's what you aim to do, whether it's a charging cradle, a vehicle cradle, a carrying case, what have it. Now, let's say the L10 is not the best fit for your operations. Maybe you need something with a little bit more real estate on the display. Maybe you need something that is going to be used mostly as a mobile workstation here. We offer the R12 here. Now, this is a great 2-in-1 here for that mobile worker that needs that mobile workstation here. One of the great things about this is that it has a Bluetooth keyboard that is stored and kept into the back of the tablet stand to be specific, and also is charged from the device here. Once again, checking all the boxes of the durability and sealing that the L10 does, as well as the extensive ecosystem here to best fit that R12 to meet your operations needs. Okay, so that's it for the Zebra portion of this. I'm going to stop sharing and allow Shrikant to pull up his slides, but I just want to say, as he's doing that you know, here at Zebra, we have an extensive partner ecosystem. We can't build out these solutions without our partners, and Crave Infotech has been a great partner here of ours in the rugged field service space, helping build out solutions that help the workers stay connected, stay working, stay collecting that valuable data that they need to out in the field. Shrikant?
Thank you, Paul. That was great. Thank you for your kind words. So this is how I look like in case if we bump into each other. It will be easier to identify. I'm working in SAP and mobile computing space for last over 27 years, and I enjoy that. That's more important. So who is Crave Infotech? So of course, we are the one who try to bring your dream together. So we basically bring the software, hardware, and the deployment together. And I'm going to talk about that, how we do that. So what are we passionate about? So of course, we are very synonymous with SAP. We are SAP partner, and we work with SAP's Intelligent Enterprise, SAP Cloud Platform. We also have several pre-packaged solutions, and we basically combine them with Zebra's mobile computing technology and also geo enablement from companies like Here Technology and Google and Esri. So that's these are the 5 things. Of course, our application work without cloud platform also. So they can go on SAP Cloud Platform or on-premise. And which are the areas where we have solutions into? So warehouse management, enterprise asset management, field service and supply chain. Those are the 3 key areas where we have our package solutions, and we'll talk a little bit more about them in subsequent slides. We talked about our partnerships, so Zebra, SAP. So we have a premier ISV partnership with Zebra. And we have 3 partnerships with SAP: sell, build, and service, all the 3. We are also Amazon Web Service partner, Google, Here. Now about the clientele, utilities, oil and gas, water utilities, electric, gas, then pharma, life sciences, manufacturing, chemical, petrochemical, retail, large organizations like Siemens, healthcare, public sector. So that's kind of a mixed bag, quick list. Let's talk about, I mentioned about prepackaged solutions. So we have around 50 plus prepackaged solution. Let's start from the left top corner. So asset management, this is very prevalent into your industry. So whether it's the energy industry, so that's utilities, oil and gas, this is very prevalent. So utilities, again, generation, distribution, transmission, all of it are extremely asset intensive industries. So we have maintenance, calibration, we have field service management that's very specifically designed for utilities. And if time permits, I would like to show the screens also. This application takes care of around 46 plus different utility specific or energy industry specific processes. From the oil and gas, we have maintenance, so breakdown, preventive, work clearance management, right? So that is also part of it. We have a flexible scheduling and planning workbench, which allows your planners and schedulers to do their work on the go. They don't have to be in the office sticking to the desktop. No, they can do it on the go, and we'll see some screenshot later. On the supply chain side, warehouse, of course, it's very important. RFID enabled warehouse into the oil and gas industry, tracking the high value parts and equipments which are in the warehouse. Very important. So does the utility, especially generation and the transmission side. We also have direct store delivery, supplier connect. So that's a supplier portal, truck loading, a lot of stuff in the production, not very specific to oil and gas or energy, but for manufacturing. We have order to cash. So Salesforce automation, customer portal. This is a vendor portal. Connected assets. We have several customers who are using our connected assets and IoT in utilities and oil and gas, where we help you to track your movable and immovable assets through telematics, mobile location, geo enablement, route optimization, assignment, unassignment of the jobs on the map. Integrates very easily with SAP and other solutions too. A lot of management dashboards, HR, approvals, master data. So you name the department, we have the solution. Today's focus is on EAM and warehouse in supply chain. If you have any interest in any of the others, we'll be happy to talk about that. This is just a more detailed, I think I briefed them, but this gives another view of warehouse, field supply chain, and enterprise asset management. Let's start with EAM. So when we talk about EAM, basically, if we are discussing about the utilities, then we all know there is a customer information system. We have turn on, turn off, meter related work, move in, move out, payments. If it is a work management, so that's your preventive, corrective, inspection, permitting. And you have construction, so we also call it capital work. So that's capital or new service. So all of this type of work is ultimately gets converted into some kind of order, right? Work order, notification, job, whatever you call. And then that gets to the scheduler and tool. MRSS is an SAP tool, but you can have any scheduling tool. Also, you should be able to see them on the map. Where are they located? Where are my people? Where are my jobs? And where are my vehicles? And then we combine them together into the asset tracking and map based dispatch, where you can see all the people on the map, see all the jobs. You can have emergency jobs coming in because of the gas leak. You can have emergency job coming in because of the circuit breaker. And then you should be able to assign that to the most qualified person and drag and drop on the map. And we allow you to do that. Then it goes to the middleware and gets transmitted to a nice rugged tablet like this, and you will be able to see the jobs and handle them on the go. Completion, right? We handle end-to-end, and finally, you can also get the vehicle analysis. So our tool also allows you to track the maintenance schedule and maintenance inspection parameters and so forth. So that's kind of your end-to-end flow for a field workforce management. Now let's talk from the application flow perspective. So first is CRM CIC0. So we have flexible scheduling tool. For plant maintenance, service management, EAM, we have flexible dispatch, where you can dispatch people. And then we have tracking and map-based dispatch. We had a lot of talk about this. Planning workbench, approvals. So your notification order approvals, there are mobile applications available. And then finally, for the field side, we have preventive, corrective, breakdown, facility, calibration, inspection, very specially designed for the transmission, and also on the gas side, the rigs and offshore part of the where the assets are scattered, and you need an inspection. The inspection tool, I'll speak more once the screen comes. And field service manager is mainly for meter related and distribution work. How do they look like? So this is our planning workbench. I'm going to actually show you the application in a couple minutes. So this is how it looks like on a tablet. It has a planning dashboard, notification order list, KPI summary. Let me take you to the actual application. I think it will be more interesting to do that. Just give me 1 second. So this is our, we call it Fiori Launchpad. If you have SAP, I'm sure you are familiar with that. And these are all of our applications. So we are going to look at the planning workbench. So this is our, we call field workforce management dashboard. So you have on the top, these are different tiles. So we basically brought in around 80% of the transaction, 80% of the frequently used transactions, which you can use through a mobile application. Right? And that includes master data maintenance, notifications, workbench, scheduling, dispatch, printing. So that's your creating package when you have large work or shutdown, and in case the mobile doesn't work and you have external contract, or you have external contractors and you want them to carry out the work, so they can you can print them. Completion confirmation, KPIs, order to BOM. This is something very specific we have created, by which you can look at what type of work you do very frequently, and then from the order you can create BOMs from them. So you can reuse, and every time you don't have to do planning. And also history. So I'm going to give you a glimpse of our planning workbench. This will be used by a planner, scheduler, supervisor, depending upon how your process is. This tells me how many, so the orders by status, how many are open, how many are confirmed, how many are completed or closed. What is the status of my resources? Orders by type, orders by priority. These are all configurable, how you want to do it. I have stats on the top. I have everything at my fingertip, what I will be using very frequently. I have my settings. I can do the settings. What type of order types I frequently use. So I don't have to enter them while I am doing transactions. And I can always create an order right now immediately. So let's look at this orders. Now, how will this look like, right? So these screens are responsive. So what does that mean is they work on tablet, and they also work on, some of them work on mobile phone, depends upon the real estate. But this is how it will look like on a phone, or sorry, on a tablet. And this is how it will look like on a phone. So it automatically adjusts and becomes responsive. And they work on, they are all tested for the Zebra devices. So, and I'll talk about that. All of our applications are validated by Zebra. That means they are tested for memory leak. They are tested for battery usage, which is very important. You have people out in the field and you don't want them to run out of the battery. I'm sure you have seen, if the applications are not properly designed, they will drain your battery. Also, they are tested for user interface. They are tested for integration with the backend. So this is the list of my orders. I can see operations. We have a functionality called recommendation. So here it will only recommend me 3 most eligible people who can work on it. That's based upon their skill set, their availability, and the priority of the job. I have certain functions available. They are all configurable. But before I do anything, I want to see some more details about this job. So I go into the details. Now I can see what is mean time to failure for this equipment. What's the mean time to repair? So I'm not only looking at the details of the order, but I'm looking at the details of this specific application. Sorry, at this location. That can be equipment, that can be functional location. Number of notifications ever created, number of orders ever created. What are the permits for this job? So I have everything at my fingertip. What's my plan versus actual cost? Who are assigned to work on it? And I can also get the historical data about all the characteristics, old orders, what are the costs. So you can make a decision whether you want to move forward with this work or you should be replacing. So you can go to that level. Also, it has a augmented reality built into it. Nowadays, a lot of manufacturers are giving videos. Or of course they are giving you nicer documentation, but they can also give you videos. And this is an example where you can embed videos and look at them on your tablet. That helps to reduce the reliance on your older workforce, right? When I say old, means not by age, but workforce who is already there. And if you have newer workforce coming in, you can basically, they can utilize this for planning and also for the execution of the work. So we have this type of technology already built in, which you can utilize in the field or into the planning process. So this helps our planner to do their job effectively, and then they can go inside and actually do the planning of the work. They can copy from task list, they can copy from existing orders, so minimize the work, and they can also connect with third-party systems. So for example, I'm trying to connect orders, I can connect with third-party systems. So we provide a mechanism by which you can pull the materials from or spares from different systems, not just SAP. So that was a glimpse of the planning solution, planning workbench. Let me go back to the presentation. Seen that. Now about the inspection. So this is a very specialized application built. It can go on, this is MC9300. Of course, it can also go on a tablet, but it will be, because especially you are going on the top of the towers, it can be pole, it can be transmission tower. I think these are very easy to handle. They can be hooked onto your shoulder strap or a belt strap, and then it's easy to handle. These ones, they can capture asset attributes, so you can capture the location, geolocation. So you can use this application to create inventory and also to carry out the inspection. You can capture the location, you can capture the picture. So this is very helpful to create your inventory and start it, or also capture the locations. There are a lot of assets like transmission towers, they last for ages, right? And you want to see, especially wood poles, you want to see how many holes were there before, right? Whether they are tampered by the birds or the bird nest. You can take pictures and make sure that you have proper analysis available. Of course, you can take it to the next level using AI and machine learning, which is available, and you can create your own algorithm when to replace them or repair them. All of our applications are barcode enabled. We also help you to enabling for the barcode or RFID, both of them. So that's asset inspection. Preventive maintenance, this is another application we have, similar to I have shown the planning workbench. So preventive maintenance, basically list of all the orders, assignment. In case of preventive maintenance, you can capture the readings, you can capture the measurements. It can be counter, it can be qualitative, it can be quantitative, and then it will help you to update them and validate those readings and the measurements while they are out in the field itself, so they don't make any mistakes. Finally, Field Service Manager. This is a specialized application specially built for utilities, distribution, and also construction side. Here we have, let me see if I can demo that real quick. Okay, home. Let's go back to home again. Approvals. I went a little bit further. Maintenance. Here we go. So this is an app. Oops. Okay. Give me 1 second. Here we go. So here you can see there are different types of work. Of course, they will only go to the one who is authorized to do that, right? But you see different type of work. We can change colors. If you don't like, we can remove them. Here I can see whether it's owner allocated, there is a customer hold, electrical hold, meter hold, public works hold. So the person knows what's going on. You can also bring in cash, how much they owe. There will be details about the job. Then there are details about the equipment or the location. How many jobs are pending here. So that allows them to work on the job which is already pending, so they don't have to make another trip. I can see the work history. I can capture the remarks. I have attachments. I can also attach new pictures. I also can see the collection details and also the maintenance details of the order. Can get connected with the map. I might have some challenge. No, I think I have to go back. Now I can accept the order that will update the status. I can say en route, on site. This is all capturing the statuses, timestamp. You can run reports on them. And once I do that, I should get an option. Yeah. So if it is a substation work, I get different tabs enabled. I can also display what type of material I should use. Oh, I have some challenge here with the connection, but going back to so this is the application very specifically built for this. Let me run one more time. I want to see if I can get the completion screen. Okay, so this is specifically built for turn on electric, gas, shut off, and you will have different type of information. Again, this also goes on a tablet. In case the tablet is not working and you need to complete work out into the office, you don't have to worry about SAP transactions. You can use the same user interface and complete the work right from here. There are 46 basically processes which are already built. So that's especially for the EAM side of it. So we looked at the planning workbench, we looked at the maintenance applications, field service manager. Now let's switch gears and get into the warehouse real quick. Two key messages. Whether you are an ECC or S4, you might be using SAP console, tech console, ITS mobile. Now we are ready to take you into the Fiori world with this user interface. And why, right? So this shows that we help you to simplify user interface, and now we also help you to simplify architecture. In case of SAP console, tech console, web console, everywhere there is a middleware that adds additional layer, that adds additional resources, that adds latency. Now with the ITS mobile, the middleware has been simplified, but the user interface is not. It's only designed for a specific type of hardware and specific screen, while the Fiori-based Crave application helps you to use the same application with the same code base on all the form factors and simplifies the middleware too. So that's where we help you simplify UI, simplify architecture. This is how the app looks like, whether it's TC8300, MC9300, 8-inch tablet, or L10, or RFID. The application, the same application works on all. And in our warehouse application, we have inbound, outbound, physical inventory, internal transfer, barcode printing, internal goods issue, and the material check. All of those processes are already built in here and they are ready to go. Of course, we work with RFID. Couple of success stories. So this is a large multinational company. We helped them with the application. So they took our application and localized for their specific need. Our application typically meets between 60 to 90% of the customer requirements. Remaining 10 to 40% is achieved through configuration or customization. They use L10, ET50, TC8300, and scanner. We help them with validation and testing, golden image, all of that end to end, basically. Another success story is for another multinational company where we have deployed several applications, including maintenance, field service, then warehouse management. So preventive facilities calibration warehouse, ET50, L10 printers, TC8300, and another type of printer. With that, we'll open up for question and answers. Feel free to bring in your 3 or more digital transformation challenges in any area we talked about. And if you are struggling to start, then talk to us. And we have a complimentary UI and UX mobile assessment, no obligation, no strings attached, and we'll be happy to help you. Or visit SAP App Center. You just type SAP App Center and look at all the apps we have on the App Center. Over to you, Karen.
All right, thank you, Shrikant. I am going to turn it over. I think we have one question in the Q&A right now. Please feel free to ask more questions if you have them. But Paul, you want to take this one?
Yeah, it looks like the question is, which tech platform wearable hardware is using? And do they have a long lifespan here? I'm going to guess it's referring back to the warehouse wearable computers. I'm not sure which one specifically the question's referring to. For the most part, our handheld and wearable devices are Android, while Windows is doing some great things with big windows and laptops and tablets. They have started to steer away from the smaller display and kind of the smaller form factors with the mobile operating systems, leaving that up to Android. So if the question's around operating systems, we are most of our wearable technology is on Android. And if back to the common denominators that we spoke of and trying to have as many as possible for our Android devices, we are working and have moved most of our Android portfolio over to the Qualcomm SD660 chipset there, just to make things, selfishly make things easier for us to manage, but also a great benefit that we can put, offer our users as well. So I'm not sure if that answers the question. Feel free to type in a follow-up question into the box, or any other questions for that matter.
Okay, well, I think we're ready to wrap it up then if there's no more questions. So thank you everybody for joining us today. We appreciate your time. We look forward to you joining future webinars that we might host with Zebra and Crave Infotech. This recording will be sent out to everybody at the conclusion of this event, so look for that email in your inbox. Thank you again and have a great day.
Thanks, everybody.